there's so many variables that happen between negotiating purchase and sale agreement. There's a lot of reasons why people sell. Like, for example, one of the structures we do is a sale leaseback. So we're in the process of doing that right now. We're doing a sale leaseback in Florida. We're closing next week. We were approached by a broker who was a friend of ours. They have a 8-person physician group that wants to sell. And the reason why they're selling is, one, they have a couple partners are getting older. Some of the partners are younger, and they're a large owner. They want to sell. They're going to retire in 5 years. And so what they said is, they said, okay, well, how can we maximize the proceeds, the sale price for the transaction? Part of that is, one of the variables is lease term, looking at, and we look at their credit and lease term. And so what ends up happening is it becomes a financial transaction. We look at the credit worthiness of the tenant, which really helps us evaluate the default risk. And default risk is, was the likelihood they're going to be paying rent, adhering to all the variables within that lease, and not default. And that helps us assess, as part of the formula, of what type of return do we want to earn based on the risk. So we look at the credit, we look at the lease term, we look at what type of lease. Most of our sale leasebacks are absolute net lease, where the tenant's responsible for everything: repair, maintenance, replacement, insurance, taxes, common area expense, you name it. And with that being said, in that particular transaction, the doctor group are selling because they have a lot of partners of different ages. They have different plans and goals that they want to adhere to. Some are retiring. Some are younger doctors. They're saying, well, we'd like to use the proceeds and pay off debt and expand into another facility and add another facility. So they see the business growing. So there's a lot of different variables that they are looking at from a partnership, and all of them have different goals on top of their mind. One partner wants to expand. One partner says, I don't want to deal with the debt that we're personally on for the equipment we just bought. Other partners are retiring. So you have all these different factors coming together, and it motivates them to say, you know what, we'll do a 15-year lease because these guys are going to be there for a while. The retiring doctor is saying, well, we're only going to be there for 5 years. So what kind of personal guarantee does he want on the lease? Well, we'll only do 5, and we'll mitigate it with a security deposit to credit enhance the lease. And so at the end of the day, every sale leaseback is different, because every credit's different, location's different. We try to adhere to good real estate fundamentals, looking at a proper market rent, making sure that they're not overstepping themselves when we look at their financial statements. They can afford the rent, and it's a smaller portion of their gross revenue. And so at the end of the day, with that specific example, that was a partnership that had multiple doctors with multiple goals. But when we brought them together and understood that, we said, okay, we're going to do a 15-year lease. There's 3% annual escalations. Here's market rent, which was verifiable, because you can't create a transaction that's not financeable or executable. And that's a really important point, because you get to a point where something has to give. The rent's too high, it doesn't appraise out, you can't get a loan. And I've realized in a sale leaseback, if you can't finance that deal, then you shouldn't be doing that deal. The difference is, we will give more proceeds than a bank if they went to refinance, generally speaking. Okay, they're going to pay off the debt. They're going to get rid of a personal guarantee. And generally speaking, a lot of these doctors have personal guarantees on their loans. So they eliminate debt. They put money in their pocket. They can use it to grow the business, use it for the retirement, you name it.